Tasha sat in her room, the soft strains of music echoing through the house. The melody danced through the air, weaving around her, mingling with the melancholy of her thoughts. She felt the weight of her memories pressing down on her, threatening to overwhelm her once more. As she sat there, lost in the haunting rhythm of the music, her thoughts were consumed by a past she couldn't escape. She thought about the person who had inflicted so much pain on her, the one who had stolen her childhood, leaving her with only fragments of innocence. The memories were seared into her mind, etched like scars on her soul. Her gaze wandered aimlessly around the room, but her mind was a whirlwind of emotions. She couldn't shake the feeling of being trapped, bound by the chains of her past, unable to break free from the tendrils of pain that still gripped her heart. "I remember you," she murmured softly, her voice barely above a whisper. "I remember the way you made me feel, like I wasn't even human." The bitterness in her words hinted at the depth of the wounds that still haunted her. She thought about the blindness that had descended upon her family, the kind that went far beyond physical sight. There were secrets buried in the shadows, truths hidden from the light of day. She had been a witness to it all, a bystander to the unraveling of the lives she once knew. "You are not human," she continued, the words tasting bitter on her tongue. "I felt you were only his fault because he became blind, and we don't know the truth behind his blindness." The weight of the untold secrets hung heavy in the air, suffocating her with their unanswered questions. The feeling of helplessness crept into her chest, a familiar ache that refused to be ignored. "Not us. I couldn't do it. You did it," she said, her voice tinged with sorrow. "Huh." The bitterness in her sigh spoke volumes about the pain she had endured, the burden she had been forced to carry. The memories of the long history of suffering flooded her mind, and she felt the urge to share her story, to unburden herself of the weight that had plagued her for so long. She spoke of her eldest son, the strength and support he had provided in the midst of their trials. He had been her rock, the one who had listened without judgment, the one who had held her together when the world threatened to tear her apart. "My whole family is an avid listener, especially Miss Clara and Sir Jay at lunchtime," she said, the hint of gratitude touching her words. "You are really the ones we listen to." The words spilled out of her like a dam breaking under the weight of the emotions she had held back for so long. She felt her son's presence, his silent encouragement giving her the courage to share her story, to break the silence that had bound her for far too long. "Why don't I just share my experience when I was young?" she mused, her voice tinged with uncertainty. "That's something that I honestly don't want to remember anymore." The pain of her past spilled out in fragments, like shards of glass cutting deep into her heart. She spoke of the darkness that had clouded her childhood, the shadows that had cast a pall over her innocence. The memories were hard to utter, each word dragging forth the weight of her suffering. "But that was also the time I met my husband," she continued, the corners of her lips twitching with the slightest hint of a smile. "So, I just agreed to what he wanted." The words were tinged with resignation, a subtle acceptance of the choices she had been forced to make. Her voice wavered, the pain of her past mingling with the glimmer of hope that had flickered in the darkness. "Good day to all of you, especially to you, Miss Clara and Sir Jay," she continued, her words laced with a sense of longing. "I'm Tasha, and this is my story." As she spoke, she felt the tears welling up in her eyes, the emotions threatening to spill over. The rawness of her pain hung heavy in the air, her heart laid bare for all to see. "I'm really hungry," she said, her voice trembling with the weight of her unspoken sorrows. "But the door to my room is closed." "Mama, when are you going home?" The ache in her words echoed the loneliness that had become a constant companion, a silent shadow that never left her side. She longed for the comfort of her mother's embrace, the warmth of her presence offering solace in the midst of her suffering. "Hey, Tasha, go to sleep," a voice called from outside her room. "Your godfather is outside, and I want to talk to him, but you can't go out like that. You have a lot of bruises." The voice was laced with a hint of concern, a faint whisper of care cutting through the din of her sorrow. But the wounds she bore, both physical and emotional, ran far too deep for such fleeting gestures to soothe. "Ninyong, please help me," she pleaded, the desperation seeping into her words. "Tiro locked me up here. I have many wounds, and I want to report it to the police." The sense of desperation in her voice was palpable, the urgency of her plea ringing through the air. She longed for someone to see the pain she bore, to acknowledge the suffering she had endured in silence for far too long. "I lost consciousness when he hit me on the neck," she whispered, the memory sending a shiver down her spine. "I just fell to the floor. I don't know what happened next, but when I woke up, it was so dark, and I couldn't scream because I had a gag in my mouth." The recollection of her trauma brought a flood of emotions crashing over her, the terror of her captivity still fresh in her mind. The helplessness she had felt in those moments gripped her heart, threatening to suffocate her once more. "My heart is full of anger, and I ended up in a situation where I'm punishing him," she continued, the bitterness in her words underscoring the depth of her pain. "Even though all I can reach is bruises and wounds." The hint of defiance in her voice hinted at the resilience that had carried her through her darkest days. She had been battered and broken, but her spirit remained unyielding, a flame that refused to be snuffed out. As she continued to speak, the weight of her past hung over her like a shroud, the burden of her suffering etched into her every word. The rawness of her emotions spilled forth, each sentence a testament to the resilience that had kept her standing in the face of unimaginable pain. The wounds of her past, both seen and unseen, had shaped her into the woman she had become. The agony of her memories clung to her like a second skin, a heavy cloak that she could never fully cast aside. "I hope you can see my point, Ma," she said, her voice heavy with unspoken sorrow. "I don't feel it. Well, my whole life, I haven't felt anything." The sense of longing in her words carried the weight of years spent yearning for a love and understanding that had always seemed just out of reach. She had carried the burden of her suffering alone, the ache of her heart, a silent scream that went unheard. As the weight of her words settled around her, she felt a sense of release, as though the tangle of emotions that had held her captive for so long was finally unraveling. The tears that welled up in her eyes were a testament to the depth of her pain, each drop a release, a catharsis that she had longed for. The story of her life spilled forth, every word a testament to the pain and suffering she had endured. The weight of her past hung heavy in the air, the echoes of her trauma reverberating through the silence. Tasha had carried the burden of her suffering for far too long, but as she spoke, it was as though the shackles of her past were finally falling away. The weight of her pain was laid bare, the rawness of her emotions a piercing reminder of the scars she bore, both seen and unseen. "Was just the two of us," after all the sordid nightmare I left behind. Being in Reuben's care was a haven of safety. He showed me unwavering kindness and respect. I remember how my heart fluttered from his gentle care when he washed the wounds on my back, his soothing touch easing the pain. Despite the comforting moments, haunting fragments of my past refused to leave me. There were scars and bruises of unknown origin, a chilling testament to the torment I endured. Each mark was a stark reminder of the horrors I could not recall. I yearned to regain my memories, to piece together the broken fragments of my past, but the amnesia weighed heavily on me like an impenetrable fog. In the quiet evenings, as the day melted into dusk, Reuben and I would sit under the canopy of stars and share the silence. There was an unspoken understanding between us, a comforting companionship amidst the uncertainties that engulfed my identity. Despite my lost memories, his unwavering presence anchored me in this unfamiliar world. Days turned into weeks, and as my physical wounds healed, the nagging ache of the unknown continued to torment me. One night, as I lay on the bamboo sofa, a mysterious sense of restlessness stirred within me. I yearned to explore the world beyond the confines of the bamboo walls, to reclaim a sense of freedom that eluded me. And in that moment, I realized that I needed to confront my past to truly carve a path forward. Gathering my resolve, I approached Reuben, my eyes filled with a newfound determination. "Reuben, I need to find out who I am, where I came from," I said earnestly. "I cannot live in this limbo forever. I need to uncover the truth, no matter how daunting it may be." Reuben looked at me with a mix of concern and empathy. "Tisei," he began softly, "I understand your frustration, but the world out there is filled with dangers, and I cannot bear to see you at risk. Please, let me protect you." "I know, Reuben, but I cannot live in fear forever. I need to confront the shadows of my past, to find closure," I insisted, my voice trembling with newfound determination. Seeing the fire in my eyes, Reuben relented, albeit reluctantly. "If this is what you truly desire to say, I will stand by your side. I promise to protect you in any way I can." With Reuben's assurance, I felt a surge of courage coursing through my veins. The next morning, as the first light of dawn broke through the horizon, we set out on a journey to unravel the mysteries that shrouded my existence. We ventured into nearby villages, seeking clues and answers. We spoke to villagers, hoping to jog some dormant memory buried within me. Each conversation, each fleeting recollection, felt like a small victory in my quest for identity. Lined with verdant fields and scattered huts, the villages we visited exuded a sense of calm and simplicity. Yet beneath the tranquil facade, there lurked an air of trepidation, a palpable unease that tinged the air. As we delved deeper into our investigation, I sensed the weight of an ominous secret hanging over the very fabric of these communities. It was during one such visit, in a quaint village where the earthy scent of freshly tilled soil lingered in the air, that we stumbled upon a wrinkled, yet wise elder. His eyes held a depth of knowledge, as if they had borne witness to the convoluted tapestry of human lives. We approached him, hoping that his wisdom might unlock the shackles of my lost past. The elder listened to our plight with a furrowed brow, his gaze lingering on me with a profound intensity. "Lost memories are like ripples on a placid surface," he mused, his weathered voice carrying a weight of wisdom. "But tread cautiously, for some ripples conceal dark and tempestuous depths." As he spoke, an unsettling feeling gnawed at the corners of my mind, but I brushed it aside, eager for the tantalizing prospect of unraveling the enigma shrouding my past. At twilight, we made our way back to Reuben's village, our steps heavy with a blend of exhaustion and muted hope. The day had yielded no substantive leads, and the veil of mystery seemed as impenetrable as ever. The following morning, as the gentle caress of dawn painted the sky in hues of gold and amber, an unexpected visitor arrived at Reuben's doorstep. The visitor was a middle-aged woman with a countenance weathered by life's trials, yet her eyes held a glimmer of steely resolve and unspoken hardships. In a hushed tone, she spoke to Reuben, her words laden with urgency and an air of secrecy. I could sense the weight of her words as the lines on Reuben's face shifted from curiosity to concern. "Tisay." Reuben turned to me, his voice laden with caution. "This woman claims to hold information about your past. She says she knows who you are and where you came from." My heart quickened with a tumult of emotions, anticipation, trepidation, and a glimmer of hope. The woman's unexpected arrival felt like a beacon of light amidst the murky fog of my forgotten past. As I stood before her, her eyes met mine with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. "You are not Tisay," she uttered, her voice laden with gravitas. "Your true name is Elena, and your family has been searching for you for years." Her words hung in the air like a heavy cloak, stirring up a storm of emotions within me. As the woman began to unravel the tapestry of my lost past, each revelation felt like a dagger piercing through the veil of oblivion. I learned that I was a victim of abduction, torn away from my family at a tender age. The memories flooded back in sharp, painful fragments, piecing together the harrowing saga of my stolen childhood. In a whirlwind of emotions, I discovered that my family had never given up hope during the years of my absence. Their love and longing for my return had sustained them through the darkest of nights, and the revelation of my existence had sparked a glimmer of hope amidst their ceaseless prayers. As the woman painted a vivid portrait of my true identity, tears cascaded down my cheeks, mingling with the profound depths of joy and sorrow that surged within me. The revelation had cracked open a dam of emotions, flooding my soul with a torrent of bittersweet memories and unspoken longing. With Reuben's steady presence by my side, I embarked on a poignant journey back to the embrace of my long-lost family. The road ahead was fraught with emotional turbulence, yet it beckoned with the promise of restoration and reunion. As we traversed the familiar landscapes of my childhood, the contours of my past unraveled before me like an intricate tapestry. Fragments of childhood laughter and shared moments tugged at my heart, painting an evocative portrait of the years I had lost. At long last, we arrived at the doorstep of my childhood home. The air crackled with a potent blend of anticipation and trepidation as I faced the daunting prospect of reconnecting with the family I had been torn away from. As the door swung open, I was enveloped in a tide of emotions as familiar faces emerged from the threshold, their eyes alight with a profound blend of joy and disbelief. Intimai, that poignant moment, time seemed to stand still as I embraced my loved ones who had never surrendered their hopes and dreams of my return. My journey back to my family was a poignant symphony of reunification and healing. It was a testament to the unyielding resilience of the human spirit, a poignant narrative of love's enduring strength amidst the trials of life. In the warm embrace of my family, I found solace in the tender tendrils of memories that bound us together, weaving a tapestry of restoration and reconciliation. The tumultuous odyssey of reclaiming my identity had led me home, to a sanctuary of love and belonging that washed away the shadows of my past. As I gazed into the radiant eyes of my family, I knew that I had finally found my way back to the embrace of my true self. Embraced by their love, I had come full circle, emerging from the shadows of oblivion to bask in the effulgent light of rekindled hope and unbreakable bonds. The poignant chapters of loss and rediscovery had sculpted the contours of my spirit, infusing me with an enduring gratitude for the relentless love and unwavering support that had guided me back to the sanctuary of my long-lost family. In their embrace, I found the ultimate testimony to the indomitable fortitude of the human heart, a testament to the healing power of love's steadfast embrace. In the quiet solitude of the remote, rustic sanctuary, I sought sanctuary from the cacophony of the outside world. The drops of water cascaded down my body as I leisurely soaked in the weathered vintage bathtub, exuding an old-world charm that seemed to hold the stories of countless sojourners who had sought solace within its comforting confines. The steam curled and danced, shrouding me in a cocoon of tranquility as I sought sanctuary from the tempest that raged within. The oppressive weight of the outside world seemed to dissipate, devoured by the soothing embrace of the hot water. After carefully patting myself dry, I meticulously donned the simple but distinctly thoughtful clothes that he had purchased for me. Each article of clothing felt imbued with his unspoken care and concern, a tangible expression of his desire to provide me with comfort and a sense of belonging. As I leisurely ventured out from the haven of the quaint time-worn hut, I found myself amidst a collection of unassuming huts that dotted the picturesque landscape. The tranquil rivers meandered gracefully through the verdant landscape, inviting me to seek solace in their pristine, cerulean depths. The occasional fishing expeditions that provided us with sustenance lent an air of simplicity and resourcefulness to our existence in this idyllic corner of the world. Beneath the swaying mango tree, a makeshift haven awaited, complete with a cozy pallet and a gently swaying hammock that beckoned with an irresistible allure. It was a place for rest, for introspection, for taking a moment to simply be, cocooned within the embrace of nature's unspoiled beauty. As I stepped out, my gaze swept over the enchanting landscape, where the gentle sway of the trees, the tranquil murmur of the river, and the melodious chorus of the avian denizens conspired to create an oasis of serenity. Yet beneath the serene facade of this place lay a certain charm that seemed to whisper of a timelessness and an understated allure, drawing me in with its promise of respite and renewal. "Are you doing better now? Can you venture out?" Grandpa Yael inquired, his weathered visage etched with concern and a faint glimmer of hope that seemed to dance within the depths of his gaze, like a tantalizing mirage in a desert of uncertainty. A lingering bitterness still clung to the air, a persistent reminder of the turmoil that had enveloped me, leaving me adrift in a vast, unfathomable sea of uncertainty. "The taste is still a bit bitter, but I can bear it," I murmured, a shadow of resignation clouding my expression like a veil of unshed tears, a silent testament to the trials that still lay ahead. "Don't worry, it will soon fade," Grandpa Yael reassured me, his voice warm yet tinged with unspoken sorrow that knitted together the unspoken tapestry of his own struggles and sacrifices. "Your strength is gradually returning. What matters most is that you're able to bathe. Any recollection of your name? Your past?" I shook my head, my gaze clouded with frustration and an overwhelming sense of helplessness that seemed to cling to me like a ghostly shroud. "Not yet. It's been a relentless struggle." No cure in sight, I confessed, the weight of my words hanging heavily in the air, like an unspoken burden that threatened to consume me. As long as you're here, for however long it takes, consider us your family, Grandma Yael interjected with quiet determination, her gaze alight with the fiery resolve of a guardian angel who had taken it upon herself to shepherd me through the tumultuous tempest that raged within me. Never lose hope. Your memories will resurface. That much, I believe. My granddaughter christened you Tise. It seems fitting, doesn't it? A tremor of gratitude coursed through me, rippling through the very fabric of my being as I acknowledged, "Thank you, Grandma Yael, for everything. I'm adrift without a sense of home or identity. I barely recognize who I am. I yearn to recall, to belong, to find my place within the intricate tapestry of my past. Everyone here understands your plight. We stand with you. We'll shield you from harm," Grandma Yael reassured me with unwavering resolve, her words a beacon of hope amidst the storm that raged within. "You're like a newborn navigating the world for the first time. Every dusk, we fortify our sanctuary, setting up traps and defenses to ward off malevolent forces. The bamboo shoot barriers and garlic sticks serve as our protection, our weapons against the unseen. The threat looms, but we remain vigilant. We've taken measures to safeguard you, striving to keep you beyond his reach. Ager, the crow? He's the malevolent entity that sought to ensnare you. But rest assured, we've foiled his plans. Still, caution is paramount. Your safety isn't guaranteed." Before Grandma Yael could conclude, fear and uncertainty clawed at my soul, leaving me restless and apprehensive. I'm not safe, am I? What if he returns to claim me? I'm haunted by that possibility, I confessed, my voice tinged with trepidation, a haunting specter that seemed to lurk at the edges of my consciousness, refusing to be banished. With a gentle touch, Grandpa Yael offered reassurance. "Rest easy, child. We won't relinquish you. Come what may, we'll shield you. You needn't fear. We're here for you. But do not depart without bidding us farewell. Keep your distance as long as you can. I should remain by your side, an unyielding sentry who will go to any lengths to shield you from the encroaching darkness that seeks to snuff out the fragile flicker of hope that now burns within your heart." As darkness descended, the howling of distant dogs pierced the stillness, a haunting refrain that echoed through the night, like the plaintive wail of trapped spirits seeking solace in the eternally unyielding darkness. Upon hearing it, a tremor of dread coursed through me, stoking a disquiet that had taken root, its tendrils curling around my heart in a suffocating embrace. I sought refuge beneath my blanket, seeking solace in the comforting glow of the lamplight as the darkness cast its long, baleful shadow over the world outside. Lost in thought, I clutched my necklace, a cherished talisman that was both a connection to my past and a beacon of hope, a tangible lifeline that seemed to whisper of a past that eluded me, an elusive specter that now loomed large, shrouded in enigmatic mystery, haunting my every waking moment. Who are you in my life? How important are you to me? Why do you feel so essential? Like an unsung melody that thrums within the very fabric of my being? I mused aloud, my thoughts trailing into the enigmatic void of my past, a labyrinthine maze that seemed to twist and turn with the convoluted complexities of an unfinished symphony. The elusive specter of my identity loomed large, haunting my every waking moment, the enigmatic puzzle of my past eluding my grasp, leaving me in the throes of a maelstrom of turbulent emotions that seemed to churn and roil within the very depths of my soul. As the night advanced, A dream enveloped me, engulfing me in visions that dredged up buried emotions, and a stark revelation of a mother's plight that now unfolded before me, a poignant tableau that seemed to dance within the reaches of my consciousness. "Why don't you look at me? There's so much blood." Her desperate plea reverberated with a harrowing resonance that seemed to reverberate within my very core, plunging me into the very depths of despair. "Can you bear it? I need to save up. We must save money. Please, go home." Her anguished cry tore through the very fabric of my being, leaving me in the throes of a tumultuous tumult that seemed to consume me with its unyielding embrace. The anguish in her voice was palpable, a poignant echo that reverberated within me, leaving me in the throes of despair, a tempest of emotions that seemed to consume me with its unyielding intensity. "Mama, don't leave me. I need you," I implored. My anguish laid bare as I was enveloped by the stirring resonance of her anguished cry, a haunting elegy that seemed to echo within the very tendrils of my soul. "Tize, wake up! You're dreaming!" A voice pierced through the haze of my turmoil, pulling me back into the tangible realm of reality, where the unbearable weight of the past seemed to cede ground to the unyielding pull of the present, each moment seemingly teetering on the brink of an uncertain future. "Do you remember anything?" My waking world blurred with the remnants of my reverie, tears staining my cheeks, an unforeseen turmoil that had engulfed me like a gnawing tempest, leaving me grappling with the intangible specter of a past that remained tantalizingly out of reach, just beyond the fingertips of my yearning grasp. In the absence of clarity, the weight of uncertainty bore heavily upon me, an unyielding burden that seemed to clutch at the very core of my existence, leaving me steeped in a quagmire of emotions that threatened to engulf me. "It was about my mother," I confessed, my voice laced with a palpable tremor that seemed to betray the maelstrom of emotions that now consumed me, an untold tumult that seemed to churn and roil within the very depths of my being. "I long for the truth, to reclaim that which has eluded me, to stake my claim within the labyrinthine landscape of my past." Embracing me with quiet empathy, Reuben extended a glass of water, a small yet potent gesture of solace amidst the tumultuous storm raging within me. "The resentment is etched on your body, layer upon layer," he offered, his voice steeped in compassion, each word seemingly a balm that sought to assuage the unyielding tumult that now consumed me with its unrelenting tenacity, a tempest that seemed to churn and roil within the very depths of my soul. Gently, he probed. "Who was the one in your dream? Do you recall anything, even a hint of your name?" Through his gentle prodding, a sliver of hope flickered within, a tentative belief that some semblance of clarity was within reach, an elusive whisper of a truth that seemed to glimmer amidst the tempestuous haze of uncertainty. Recalling the enigmatic woman from my cherished photograph, I lamented, "The scars, the wounds, they bear testament to a life I can't recall. Who are you in my life? How integral are you? Who am I, truly?" Each word seemed to resonate with the unspoken anguish that now surged within me, an untold tumult that seemed to cling to the very fabric of my existence, refusing to be banished. The following day, as the tranquil hum of everyday life enveloped our sanctuary, Reuben and I set out for town, seeking to immerse ourselves in the ebb and flow of the world beyond, each step a tentative foray into the uncharted realms of the unknown, a pilgrimage in search of the elusive fragments of a past that seemed to elude me like a wisp of smoke. a ghostly specter that refused to be unveiled. "Natasha, Dios mío," a voice called out, arresting our progress and igniting a flicker of recognition within me. A tantalizing glimpse of a forgotten connection that now danced within the reaches of my consciousness. "Tasha, it's you!" Perplexed by the stranger's words, I faltered, grappling with both familiarity and a profound sense of estrangement that seemed to envelop me with its unyielding embrace. A tempest that seemed to churn within the very depths of my soul. "Who are you? Why do I sense a fleeting connection?" I murmured, my voice tinged with uncertainty, a poignant echo that seemed to resound within the very core of my being. Flustered by the unexpected encounter, the stranger explained, "Your belongings were found at the terminal, and your ID, your money. It was all retrieved. I've been searching for you, hoping to reunite you with your mother." Each word seemed to hang in the air with an unyielding gravitas, a revelation that seemed to ignite a flicker of recognition within the labyrinthine corridors of my consciousness. A tantalizing glimpse into a past that seemed to elude me like an untold mystery. A haunting specter that refused to yield its secrets. As the layers of my enigmatic existence unfolded before me, uncertainty gnawed at my heart like an unrelenting tempest, leaving me grappling with a quagmire of emotions, reverberations of a life that had slipped through my grasp. A mother whose memory remained tantalizingly out of reach, leaving me to navigate the nebulous labyrinth of my past, each step a tentative foray into the uncharted realms of the unknown. "Barry, have you contacted my mother?" "What are your plans?" I queried, grappling with the relentless churn of emotions that ruled my life. Each word seeming to resonate with the unspoken turbulence that now consumed me with its unrelenting tenacity, a tumult that seemed to cling to the very fabric of my existence as I sought solace in the embrace of familiarity, a tether to the past that seemed to elude me like an unattainable mirage. Uncertain and adrift, I clung to the fragile tendrils of hope, hoping for a semblance of solace in the embrace of familiarity, a glimmer of recognition that seemed to dance at the very edges of my consciousness, a tantalizing mirage that refused to be banished from the recesses of my mind. To be continued. Taisei, I see your strength, your spirit that refuses to be crushed, and the determination in your eyes, even as you fight the fatigue from the short-lived bout of memory return. You are a fighter, and I'm humbled by your resilience. Reuben, watching you take care of Tisei, your unwavering support and protection for her, has deepened my respect for you. The love and care in your eyes as you care for her in this delicate moment is heartwarming. Let's dive deeper into their emotions, thoughts, and actions. Let's paint a vivid picture of their surroundings. Give depth to their relationships and tug at the reader's heartstrings by immersing them in the story. The setting remained true to its name, Pacific Cove, as the gentle waves whispered against the sandy shore, breathing life into the serene ambiance of the coastal town. The quaint coastal village stood nestled against the vibrant hues of the sunset, casting a warm, golden glow that enveloped every corner. The evening breeze carried with it the salt-kissed air, laden with promises of a tranquil yet enigmatic existence. Tisei walked along the shore, the soft sand caressing her feet with every step, and gazed at the horizon, where the sun dipped beneath the edge of the sea, painting the sky in hues of peach and amber. The weight of her lost memories pressed heavily on her heart, gnawing at her sense of identity with relentless vigor. Yet, amidst the chaos within her mind, the resplendence of the setting sun held her in a moment of tranquil respite. Amidst this tapestry of nature's splendor, Tisei found herself drawn to Reuben, whose presence seemed to embody an unspoken refuge. His eyes held a depth that mirrored the vastness of the ocean, casting a comforting spell, yet brimming with unspoken concern. His caring words and gentle gestures were like soft ripples in the sea, a balm to her tumultuous soul. As they ventured back towards the village, the aroma of home-cooked meals wafted through the air, tendrils of warmth and comfort that intertwined with the whispers of the ocean. They settled around a weathered wooden dining table in Reuben's humble abode, adorned with vibrant island flowers that offered a stark yet beautiful contrast to the rustic simplicity of the space. The clinking of cutlery against porcelain mingled with the quiet lapping of the waves outside as they savored a meal fit for a tale woven by the sea. The flavors of marinated fish and fragrant rice danced upon Taisei's palate, an arabesque of sensations that momentarily eclipsed her lingering doubts and fears. Yet, even amidst the simplicity and serenity of this shared meal, a tempest brewed within Taisei's mind. A maelstrom of doubts threatened to shroud her heart, a silent storm that battled against the soothing rhythm of the waves. Her gaze faltered. Remnants of forgotten tales whispered deep within her subconscious, suffusing the air with an air of palpable unease. Reuben's silence did not go unnoticed, nor did his observant gaze that spoke volumes where words seemed to falter. His quiet demeanor was a tableau of concern, the lines etched upon his brow resembling an unfinished portrait, a chronicle of his unspoken worries and the weight of her newfound revelations. "You're so quiet, Taisei. Are you really like that? Or is it just because you've lost your memory?" Reuben's words cut through the silence, weaving a delicate tapestry of concern and the echoed whispers of the past. Taisei, in the throes of inner turmoil, found solace in the unyielding concern that emanated from Reuben's every word, his tender gestures weaving a safety net within the tumult of her mind. A glass of water placed gently before her, a simple act that held the weight of a silent promise, a promise that despite the storms that raged within her, she wasn't alone in this battle. "I'm thinking about what Barry said. Is my life really like that? It seems scary." Taisei's voice trembled, a frail yet resolute whisper that found refuge amidst the layers of uncertainty within her very being. Reuben's eyes reflected an unspoken resolve, a silent affirmation that fortified her spirit, even as the half-light of the room seemed to cradle their conversation. His voice exuded patience as he sought to navigate the labyrinth of her emotions, stepping gently through the fragmented remnants of memories that lay scattered within her mind. "The past is an unyielding tempest, a silent storm that threatens to shroud us," Reuben began, his voice akin to the tranquil murmur of the sea. "But the future, Taisei, the future is where our journey unfolds. If you have weathered turbulent tides before, it is a testament to the unwavering strength that beats within your very essence." The weight of Reuben's words lent an ethereal glow to the pensive silence that lingered within the room, the sheer reverence in his voice keeping the storm within her at bay. In the tranquility of this shared moment, Taisei found fleeting respite, a comforting oasis amidst the torrents of uncertainty that threatened to engulf her. Taisei's gaze met Reuben's, each lingering moment akin to an unspoken hymn that reverberated through the shared silence. Amidst the ebb and flow of her emotions, the undulating rhythm of her racing thoughts, she found herself falling into the quiet pools of his gaze, finding in them a solace that whispered of unspoken understanding and quiet reverence. "You were with me before, when there was a threat to my life." Reuben's words wove a tender caress through the delicate fabric of their shared history, underscoring the untold tales and the unspoken kinship that bound them amidst the tempest of life's trials. I know that I used to be afraid of someone, but here, I'm not afraid. Not because I don't remember anything, but because you're there. The silence of the room was adorned with the semblance of unspoken promises, a mosaic of shared vulnerabilities that found a haven within the ebb and flow of their unspoken bond. The music of their hearts wove itself into the tapestry of silence, crafting a lyrical sonnet that pulsed through the very core of their shared existence. The subtle lilt of the wind carried with it the faint rustle of leaves outside, a symphony that seemed to dance to the echoes of their intimate conversation. The hushed lullaby of the night seemed to cocoon them within an intimate embrace, a comforting refuge that cradled their shared confessions. A smile, gentle and resolute, curved upon Reuben's lips, its brilliant arc akin to the whispered promises of the setting sun. Tasha found herself drawn to the enigmatic dance of his expression, the ethereal glow that seemed to envelop his visage with a silent eloquence that spoke of unspoken affirmations and shared vulnerabilities. As the weight of their shared realities coalesced in the silent chambers of their embrace, an unyielding resolve blossomed within Tasha's heart. Her gaze, a mirage of quiet tenderness, seemed to immerse itself within the enigmatic allure of his gaze. Each lingering second, akin to a silent cadence that pulsed through the pensive ambiance of the room. The tendrils of night cast intricate patterns upon the fabric of their shared silence, crafting a delicate ballet of emotions that twined with the tumultuous whispers of their hearts. Amidst the hushed tranquility of the evening, their shared vulnerability found solace in the unspoken truths that echoed through the sacred catacombs of their reverie. "I don't want to take my eyes off him," Tasha mused, her thoughts suffused with the resplendence of her quiet revelation. "It seems like there's something I've only noticed before." The tip of Reuben's nose, a delicate brushstroke upon the canvas of his visage, seemed to cradle a tender allure that mirrored the setting sun's gentle caress. The warmth of the room seemed to cocoon them within the gentle embrace of shared intimacy, every lingering moment an unspoken revelation that seemed to weave an ethereal sonnet within the tranquil chambers of their hearts. Realization dawned upon Tasha, a poignant whisper that seemed to flow through the very fabric of their shared silence. The subtle intricacies of Reuben's features seemed to intertwine with the enigmatic whispers of the night, each contour an unspoken testament to the vibrant intricacies of his very essence. "The tip of his nose fits his face," Tasha quietly observed, her voice an ethereal revelation that seemed to find refuge within the quiet sanctuary of their shared conversation. "His cheeks are smooth, even though he's not white. His eyebrows are thick and in order. It's like he was drawn and just given life." The inconspicuous lilt of the wind carried with it an enigmatic symphony that seemed to weave an ethereal spell through the pensive ambiance of the room. The air, laden with the delicate fragrances of island flowers and the resplendent allure of the evening, seemed to cocoon them within a comforting refuge that cradled the intricacies of their shared musings. Within the tranquil intimacy that enveloped them, Tasha's thoughts seemed to converge upon the enigmatic allure of Reuben's presence. Every unspoken thought, an unyielding echo that reverberated through the uncharted labyrinth of her emotions. "Feel free to let me know if we should continue with the expansion or if you would like a specific scene to be elaborated further." Tasha stood amid the chaos, her heart pounding in her chest as the ghosts of the past and present swirled around her. The full moon loomed high in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the scene. She clutched a small bottle of oil in her hand, its contents offering a faint glimmer of hope in the face of the malevolent spirits that haunted her every move. "Grandpa Yael, I'm desperate because I can survive, okay?" Tasha's voice quivered as she spoke, her eyes darting nervously around the dimly lit room. "This is the new one, so you can't be affected by his May. Wear it. Thank you very much." Her words echoed off the stone walls, mingling with the distant howls of the restless ghosts that lurked outside. Tasha shivered as she heard the unnerving sounds, feeling the weight of exhaustion pressing down on her like a suffocating blanket. Her head throbbed with fever, and she longed for nothing more than to collapse into bed and escape into the realm of sleep. But there was no rest to be found in this place. The air was thick with tension and the sharp scent of fear, intermingled with the acrid odor of smoke that wafted through the room. Tasha's senses were inundated with the overwhelming presence of the supernatural, and she knew that the danger was far from over. "We need to stay alert." Reuben's voice cut through the murky atmosphere, his eyes scanning the room for any signs of impending danger. "Ager will do anything to get Taisei. He's a bad guy. Just try it, and he won't get out of here alive." Despite the gravity of the situation, Tasha's stomach rumbled with hunger, a stark reminder of her body's physical needs amidst the chaos. She understood the necessity of fortifying herself for the impending battle, for she could not afford to succumb to weakness in the face of the restless spirits that threatened to engulf her. As Tasha took a moment to gather her strength, the cacophony of sound outside grew deafening, the ominous chorus of howls and sinister whispers reaching a fever pitch. In a desperate bid to protect herself, she adorned a protective necklace, a talisman against the otherworldly forces that sought to ensnare her fragile form. The air was heavy with foreboding as Tasha lit a lamp, casting a flickering glow over the dimly lit room. The walls seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, and she found herself drawn towards a cache of weapons hidden within the shadows. Her hands hovered over the array of blades and arrows, the weight of their potential resting heavily on her shoulders. Amidst the tumult, a sudden intrusion shattered the fragile peace of the room as a crow burst through the open doorway, its dark form casting a shadow over the scene. Tasha recoiled in terror as the bird lunged towards her, its sharp beak drawing blood from her skin. In the dizzying onslaught of chaos, she fought to regain her footing, grasping the nearest weapon at hand in a bid to defend herself against the malevolent forces that assailed her. With trembling hands, she selected a sharp-tipped arrow, feeling the weight of its potential resting in her grip. Her mind raced with doubt and trepidation, her every instinct urging her to confront the looming threat that encroached upon her fragile sanctuary. With a deep breath, she ignited the arrow, the flickering flame casting a radiant glow within the room. In the midst of the looming chaos, Tasha's senses bristled with a newfound sense of purpose as she channeled her innermost strength. With a steely resolve, she launched the arrow towards the encroaching spirits, and as it found its mark, the ghost let out a blood-curdling scream, its form twisting in agony. The air was thick with tension as Tasha and her allies launched a fierce counterattack, their unified efforts aimed at vanquishing the malevolent spirits that assailed them. The room echoed with the sounds of battle as the relentless assault raged on, a testament to the unwavering determination of those who fought against the encroaching darkness. As the final echoes of battle faded, Tasha navigated the smoldering aftermath, her skin still tingling with the adrenaline-fueled rush of the confrontation. Amidst the lingering chaos, she found herself drawn to the wounded, providing aid and solace to those who had bravely faced the ghosts alongside her. Her heart swelled with gratitude and relief as the battle-weary survivors regrouped, their unwavering resolve a beacon of hope amidst the searing uncertainty that had gripped them. Together, they sought to tend to their wounds and nurse their battered spirits back to health, finding solace in the shared triumph over the relentless forces that had sought to thwart them. In the wake of the harrowing battle, Tasha sought out her beloved godfather, her heart aching with a bittersweet blend of emotions. The weight of her recent trials hung heavily upon her, infusing each step with a sense of reluctant determination as she navigated the heart-wrenching truths that lay before her. As she gazed upon her mother's gaunt form behind the cold bars of a prison cell, Tasha felt a surge of anguish and regret wash over her, a potent reminder of the fractured bond that had tethered them to one another. The weight of the past hung heavily between them, an unspoken burden that loomed like a specter in the confined space they shared. In the tender embrace of her mother, Tasha found herself enveloped in a maelstrom of emotions, her heart aching with the weight of countless unanswered questions. Their shared sorrow became a poignant tapestry, woven from the shattered fragments of their fractured past and the enduring hope that burgeoned within their beleaguered souls. As the tendrils of light filtered through the narrow window, Tasha found solace in the warmth of her godfather's embrace, his unwavering support a source of immeasurable comfort amidst the tumultuous storm that threatened to overwhelm her. Together, they navigated the painful truths that lay before them, finding solace in the unbreakable strength of their familial bond. Amidst the shattered remnants of a tumultuous past, Tasha found herself standing at the precipice of newfound understanding, her heart brimming with a resolute sense of purpose. As the weight of their shared trials began to lift, she sought solace in the enduring love and support of her loved ones, finding respite in the knowledge that, in their unyielding unity, they could weather any storm that lay before them. Tasha's story, a journey from despair to redemption. The aroma of sizzling onions and garlic filled the vibrant kitchen as Tasha tossed the ingredients into the bubbling pot of simmering tomato sauce. She stirred the mixture absently, lost in thought as she pondered the tumultuous journey that had brought her to this moment. The clatter of pots and pans from the bustling restaurant below echoed into the apartment, mingling with the sounds of laughter and chatter drifting through the open window. In Tasha's mind, memories flickered like the dancing flames of the stovetop, carrying her back to the days when happiness seemed like a distant dream. She remembered the piercing cold of that fateful winter night, the night that shattered her world and changed the course of her life forever. The cozy, crackling fire in the living room did little to thaw the icy tension that hung in the air. Tasha's mother, worn down by the hardships that life had dealt her, sat hunched over in her favorite armchair, her weary eyes reflecting the weight of the world. Tia Ruth, with her fiery temper and wild spirit, loomed like an ominous shadow in the dimly lit room. Tasha could sense the brewing storm as the familiar scent of alcohol wafted through the air, igniting the volatile atmosphere. "It's not too late to turn your life around, Ruth," Tasha's mother pleaded, her voice tinged with a tinge of desperation. "You can still find peace and happiness if only you'd let go of the past." Ruth's laughter cut through the silence like a jagged blade, dripping with bitterness and resentment. "You've always been the favored one, haven't you?" she spat, her words laced with venom. The golden child who could do no wrong. But I'll show you. I'll show all of you. Before Tasha could fully comprehend the gravity of the situation, the air crackled with a sudden chilling tension. Tia Ruth lunged forward, brandishing a glinting knife with a menacing glint in her eyes. Panic surged through Tasha, paralyzing her as she watched the glinting blade slice through the air, aimed at her mother's trembling form. Instinct kicked in like a primal force, propelling Tasha into action. With a swift and decisive movement, she lunged forward, her hands seizing the hilt of the knife in a desperate attempt to protect her mother. The world seemed to blur as the turmoil around her intensified. The struggle for survival unfolding in a nightmarish whirlwind of chaos. The deafening sound of a single, fateful gunshot shattered the eerie stillness of the room, reverberating through the walls like a mournful symphony of tragedy. In that heart-wrenching moment, time seemed to stand still as Tasha's world unraveled before her eyes. When the haze of shock and disbelief finally lifted, Tasha found herself engulfed in the suffocating embrace of confinement, her spirit imprisoned within the cold, unforgiving confines of the justice system. The weight of guilt and anguish pressed down on her, a relentless burden that threatened to consume her very soul. Yet, amid the darkness, a glimmer of hope illuminated the path ahead. The truth emerged victorious, unveiling the harrowing tale of survival and self-defense that had unfolded within the walls of that ill-fated room. Tasha's mother, her unwavering protector and guiding light, had stood her ground in the face of imminent danger, an act of bravery that resonated with the echoes of justice. Tia Ruth's true intentions had been brought to light, and the chains of injustice that had bound Tasha were finally shattered. Slowly but surely, the wheels of justice turned in her favor, unraveling the tangled web of tragedy and offering her a chance at redemption. The prison gates creaked open, releasing Tasha from the stifling confines of her captivity. The warm embrace of freedom enveloped her like a gentle caress, breathing new life into her weary spirit. As Tasha emerged into the radiant embrace of the world outside, she gazed upon the horizon with renewed hope and determination. The sun cast its golden rays upon her as she walked resolutely, treading the untrodden path that lay before her. The gentle embrace of familial love enveloped her, drawing her into the tender refuge of her makeshift family, a family woven from the threads of resilience, forgiveness, and unwavering compassion. Reuben, with his gentle smile and steadfast support, stood by her side, his unwavering presence a beacon of strength in the face of adversity. Her mother, with a glimmer of newfound peace in her tired eyes, embraced Tasha with a love that surpassed the confines of mere blood ties. Through the trials and tribulations that had forged her path, Tasha forged an unbreakable resolve, vowing to build a future filled with love and security for the family she held dear. The echo of her mother's words resonated within her, a poignant reminder of the enduring bond they shared. "I will raise my own children," Tasha affirmed, her voice resolute with conviction. "I will never leave them, no matter what storms may rage against us. I will shield them with the strength of my love, guiding them through the tempests of life with unwavering devotion." With each step she took, Tasha forged a new legacy, one illuminated by the flames of resilience and compassion that burned within her. Her story, filled with triumph and tragedy, resonated with the poignant melody of life's intricacies, a melody that she held close to her heart. And so, as Tasha lifted her head to gaze upon the boundless expanse of sky above, she offered her heartfelt gratitude to Miss C.L. and Sir J. the steadfast witnesses to her journey. Their voices had breathed life into her story, casting its vibrant hues across the canvas of existence. With heartfelt sincerity, she imparted her gratitude to them and to the blessed channels that had become the conduit for her tale. "It's me again, Tasha," she whispered, her voice carrying the weight of her soul's impassioned journey. "With all my respect, I offer my humble gratitude. God bless all those who have become the custodians of my story, embracing its joys and sorrows with unyielding compassion." As the poignant strains of a melody wafted through the air, Tasha closed her eyes, allowing the tender embrace of the music to envelop her. In that fleeting moment, she found solace in the poignant symphony of her existence, a symphony that resonated with the echoes of strength, redemption, and unyielding love.